My name is Carolyn Thompson. I own Real Estate Search and Sale Corporation. It serves Maryland, D.C., and Virginia. And we serve primarily residential clients in Maryland, D.C., Virginia, buyers and sellers everywhere from $100,000 deals, land deals, up to multi-million-dollar projects.
Beautiful. Now, I'd like to ask you, I know when you came in, you gave me a little bit of a brief about yourself and your history. I'd like to know how you got into the real estate industry and what were you doing before that?
Oh, okay. Well, it was in my DNA. Both my parents were realtors, aunts and uncles on both sides of my family were realtors, everywhere from the Hamptons in New York and Cape Cod, down Florida, Naples, and then my parents landed in Washington, D.C. and Montgomery County. So that's how I just got started. It was in my DNA. And I thought, oh, no, I'm not going to do real estate. I was a landscape designer for 19 years and really loved that. And then I was designing the landscapes for homes that I ended up selling, getting them ready for sale. So it just seemed like the natural transition.
Mm-hmm. And when you were doing that transition, did you have a coach or a mentor to help you, or did you just dive right in?
Yeah, it wasn't so easy for me at the time to find good mentors, and then I just kept at it. It was really 8 years before I found a good mentor. I was struggling for 8 years, and I mean, my parents had done it, but they were. My father was primarily working for the federal government. He did a deal, here and there, but that was it. And then, or helped other people. And then 8 years before I found a really good mentor, and things just took off then. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. So would you say that, I guess, that it is a good idea to get a mentor when you're starting out, just to help you?
Oh, many mentors, not just one.
Not just one.
Oh, yeah, sure. Many mentors, because you can have a mentor for marketing, a mentor for buying or selling, or somebody to put it all together. And I'm a mentor. I've been teaching other agents to do short sales for a long time. Shorts is very difficult, a lot of work. Most agents don't want to do it, and I've coached a lot of agents through the whole process. We do foreclosure prevention, help clients who are in bankruptcy avoid foreclosure and things like that. Yeah.
So now the mentee has become the mentor. It seems.
Oh yeah, I've mentored for years, but I'm always looking for mentors. People always. I'm a perpetual student. Yeah.
There's always something to learn.
Oh
right?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Love it. And now I'd like to ask you, how can sellers maximize their home's value before listing it?
So it really depends upon what their budget is, but just cleaning their homes, making sure they're thoroughly cleaned and decluttered is the best return on investment. And then in good repair. And my recommendation to everyone who's a homeowner is to do that and try to keep your homes always ready to sell, because you never know when life is going to present you with options or necessity for selling. So cleaning and decluttering first, maintenance. And then also I recommend, I'm kind of an outlier like this, but I recommend that home sellers do a home inspection first, do the repairs necessary, and then do a second home inspection, upload that with the disclosure, so that when buyers purchase the home, they know exactly what they're purchasing. Buyers can purchase with confidence.
Yes.
That way, yeah.
No, that's some key information and advice right there, because oftentimes it can get overlooked and it's just like, oh, it's not a big deal. They'll just buy it as it is. It's okay. And it's like, you want to get the best value.
Oh, yeah.
You can.
Yeah. And transparency, I think, is really, honesty and transparency is the best way to negotiate anything. Yeah. That's our approach, not just mine, but everyone with my company. That's how our agents approach things, and it's just awesome. Yeah.
I love it. Thank you. And then how many people are in your company? Like, how many team members you got?
Oh, yeah. So we're a small company with 4 core agents, and then we have a lot of assistants. We have people who do the graphics design and the virtual tours and the photography, the So we'll have to talk about that. So
Yeah.
yeah, so the photography and the virtual staging, the decluttering. We have
Wow.
a lot of people that work for us, but 4 core agents with the company.
Okay,
Hmm.
wonderful. Thank you.
Hmm.
And then what are some negotiation strategies that work well for buyers and sellers?
Starting with transparency, of course, but also for buyers who are represented and sellers who are represented with an agent. I think that when the agents talk, they communicate and get to know what the other side of the transaction's really looking for. So if I'm representing a buyer, I'll call the listing agent and find out what they really want. Maybe it's, what's important to them. It's not always price.
Hmm.
Sometimes it has to do with timing or, other logistics. A closing company using a certain um, showing that showing the listing agent that we have a reliable, reputable funding source
Yeah,
is or we're paying cash,
yeah,
whatever it is. Yeah.
absolutely. And then how do you stay up to date on the latest trends and developments in the real estate market? And what resources do you like to rely on?
Oh wow, there's so much available now, and we don't use a lot of the sources that the public uses.
Mm,
Uh, so there are certain sources such as Zillow, which may not have accurate,
right.
and the public really should know this, accurate numbers, not accurate at all, or um, some listings on realtor.com may be dated, and same thing with Zillow, that the homes might be sold but still posting as available on these
Mm,
platforms. Also, if a home is on coming soon status in our MLS,
yeah.
it may be adding up on the days of market on realtor.com, for instance. So the consumer may think that a home has been on the market for a long time when actually it's just fresh on the market.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's, there are nuances and things like that that the consumers need to know. And
Yeah.
then so many resources for us that are available, and constantly, like daily, we need to check our resources, the stats. Some of the resources are the news and the big upheaval with the new administration.
Hmm.
That's going to change everything.
How
Yeah.
so?
Well, we have people who are told they have to come back to work.
Hmm.
And so that's going to be a big deal. A lot of people had moved out of the area working remotely. They need to move back. And some of those people may not want to buy. I think a lot of them won't be buying. They'll be moving back temporarily. A portion will. And then other people will just say, that's it. They're taking the buyout plan and they're leaving the area. So we are on the cusp of a major shift in our region.
Mm.
Major, major. Yeah,
All right. Well, we'll
yeah,
be on the
yeah, yeah,
lookout for that
yeah,
and the realtors
yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Hmm.
What's the biggest mistake buyers make when purchasing a home?
Oh, buying beyond their means for one thing, right? So, for instance, just because a lender says that they can afford certain monthly payments, they need to make sure that those monthly payments are suitable for them, and then that they also have reserve funds. So if there's a hiccup, a job change, something like that, then they can
Prepare.
navigate around that. Because when people don't have those reserves and they're struggling to make the house payments, then they can have job opportunities, life opportunities that they can't take advantage of because there's no margin for error.
Hmm.
Yeah,
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 no, that's scary, but
yeah.
I mean, it's things you got to think about.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm. And then, what are the biggest factors buyers should consider beyond just price and location?
Uh, well, as far as location's concerned, there are several factors, right? Price and location that they want to make sure that the home is functional for them. Like, what is their exit strategy? Some people say, well, we're only going to stay a couple of years, but then they end up staying long term.
Longer. Hmm.
I always recommend that they, think about what their exit strategy is going to be, or if this is their forever home, then they want to buy a home or consider a home with a first floor bedroom and full bathroom. And even if it doesn't have a full bathroom at the time they buy, that maybe they can convert or take part of another room, a den or something, to have that full bedroom and bath so that they have the space to age in place.
Yeah.
And then even if they don't stay there, like some of our clients convert it to a home to age in place. They rent out the home, they move out of the area, and then they move back to age in place. So they can, I often recommend that our clients look at the home as a potential investment property later, because it's very expensive to buy and sell a home. I mean, when people go into a home, they really should look at their closing costs to get out of the home and then to buy a new home.
Yeah.
And then our clients have probably the least amount of turnover than, I don't know, than most other companies, because our clients are aging. Most of them are aging in place. They buy their first home and it's their forever home, because they do long-term planning. We sit down and just say, oh, isn't this a nice home? Or what are your finances? But what's your plan? That really is a big deal for us. And then just when somebody looks through the home initially, it's important to look at the systems. How is the plumbing and electric? Run the water. Even before they put an offer in or have a home inspector, run the water, turn on the lights, see how the layout is for them. Are they going to have a family? Are they going to have family come live with them, or friends live with them, or whatever it is? How's the home going to flow?
Yeah,
so
that's smart.
Yeah.
Smart thinking.
Yeah. And and then the age of the roof. You don't want to go under contract, bring in a home inspector and say, oh, well, this roof has issues. And then you've just wasted all that time and money with a home inspection.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
Yeah,
like
right.
my new home. And it's like,
Yeah.
the roof's caving in, ma'am.
Right. Well, even if it's not, then you say, okay, well, you have a couple years on the roof. But then if a roof, say if a roof runs $8,000-$10,000, just depending upon, or much more depending upon the size of the roof, then you have to say, okay, is that also going to fit in my budget, along with, an
Other
HVAC
costs.
system 5 years down the road, and other appliances or water heater?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You bring up a lot of great points here. Especially, I like the one that you said, like, think of your home. Is there a den that's on the first floor? Like, you don't think about those things. You don't think about, like, I'm not going to, well, that'll happen in a couple of years. But then you blink and it's like, oh, we did not think about that.
Right. Our clients think of it. We have these conversations with our clients.
That's amazing.
Well, it's, it serves them well when they're thinking about the whole picture, just not where they are here and now, but long term. Yep.
I love that you do that. That's great.
Yeah.
And then let's see. How do you build and maintain relationships with clients and other professionals in the real estate industry?
Oh, okay. Well, we go to events like the one we're going to tomorrow night, which is hosted by Habitat for Humanity, and network there with lenders and other service providers. Every morning we get on a networking call, a national networking call, where we share ideas. And with clients, we do outings. Like tonight, we're going dancing. And then,
what kind of music?
Latino, like music.
Okay, a little cha-cha-cha.
In Bethesda, yeah. So we invite a lot of our clients to come join us wherever we're doing that. I like to kayak. So I take them on the Potomac kayaking. I have extra kayaks.
Dang,
so
that's kind of...
just come along.
That is incredible. I never would have thought that.
Yeah, and it doesn't cost anything to do that. Like, there are free lessons in Bethesda for dancing and kayaking. I already own the kayaks, and
you're ready to go.
Ready to go.
Let's go. Come on, let's leave
so
this podcast.
I socialize. A lot of my our real estate clients have become lifelong friends. Like, we might meet them through real estate, but we socialize. Yeah.
You're friends for life now.
Yeah, friends for life.
Incredible. I like this.
Because they know we're looking out for them. We're like, no, like sometimes I don't. I prefer my clients not buy a home on the busy road unless there's some really compelling reason. And then, I joke with them. I'll be like, nope, you can't go in.
No.
Like, no, I'm not going to show you this house. And they're like, but I want to see it. And I said, I've already been in there. You're going to love the kitchen, and I don't want you to buy the house for the kitchen.
For the kitchen, I know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so, it's fun.
No, yeah.
It's
I love
lots
that.
of
I love
fun.
that you have a little bit of
And they
humor
know
and
who I'm
honesty.
talking about.
Oh, who we calling out? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, lots of them. Yeah.
No, I love that. I love that
Yeah.
sense of humor mixed with
Yeah.
care and
Yeah.
compassion. Like that, those
Yeah.
3 elements there, like I just love that. They're like, no, don't live here. It's like, why? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm trying to save you.
Yeah.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to save you from living on a road here.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
fun.
yeah. Well, also, it's very important that people realize they're not just buying the home, they're buying the neighborhood. And like, for instance, we have a listing now that the seller's moving to, live with family. They're going to live in a multi-generational family, but boy, is he going to miss his neighbors. Yeah,
Aw.
it's tough. Yeah. So, and then we told people at the open house that how the seller feels about the neighborhood. I said, the house is nice, but walk the neighborhood.
Good.
You meet the neighbors. I
You're
said,
gonna
you're
love 'em.
really buying you're really buying exposure to your neighbors and a sense of community. Yeah.
And a lot of
So-
people sometimes they are looking for a place that has that community. They don't want to live. Are the neighbors friendly? Am I gonna how are they? Like, will I make friends? I want to make friends in the neighborhood. And sometimes like, no, this neighborhood is not it.
Yes. But I had clients that were going to write an offer, and I said, well, we really should talk to the neighbors first. And as we were coming out of the house, one of the neighbors it wasn't one of the neighbors. The owner was coming home.
Oh.
Actually, the owner was coming home. And we said, how do you like the neighborhood? They said, it's great, but those neighbors are terrible.
Uh-oh.
And I was like, oh my gosh, now we were going to write an offer on your home, but
The
not
truth
now.
came out.
Yeah, the truth came out.
Uh-oh.
They kept on going.
Good.
Now
Good for them.
now that was maybe 8 years ago, and they've loved their neighborhoods.
Good.
In another neighborhood.
Okay,
yeah.
good. I was gonna say,
Yeah.
wait,
No,
they learned to love
another
it.
neighborhood.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, it's been fun.
And then let us see. How do lifestyle and long-term goals play a role in choosing the right home?
Oh, like what we said, like aging in place and how you're going to use this space, and I think that's a big deal. Like in one of my homes, we opened up the kitchen to the living room, and it just changed the whole dynamic. So whoever's working in the kitchen can be open and have a conversation
And not be closed off.
Exactly. And that's a big deal. And then also, like I mentioned, like some clients go gaga over the kitchen, but some of the biggest, most beautiful kitchens, I just looked at one with the client the other day, and she's like, oh, this kitchen, the distance from the sink to the refrigerator was so far. I said, step back, look at this, right? And I said, check this out. You see this? And she's like, I don't see anything. And I said, she's like, but those countertops. And I said, yeah. I said, this kitchen is a lot of work. I said, you're going to be doing a lot of extra work here. She's like, oh man, didn't think of that.
See, that's what I love about you that I'm noticing is that you are really, really like, okay, you got to think about that. Or are you sure about that? Like that, like very like detailed to things that we don't even think about. You're like 10 steps ahead.
Well, you do it for a while, but then what's fun is that then I start going through a couple properties with clients, and they say, oh, Carolyn, look at this kitchen. It's beautiful, but, so they get it. Or they're looking at the negative grade against the house and saying how, water's pooling certain areas. And they're like, Carolyn, you get a load of this. Yeah, right, I see. So
they're like, they know
it's
Carolyn
fun that
knows.
they know it.
Yeah.
They're looking for stains in the ceilings or, things like that. Turning on the water, checking the water pressure.
Oh my gosh, get you a real estate agent just like Carolyn over here. Like, that's what you want. Someone looking out for you, or like, getting the things you don't see.
There are so many great agents in the area. There are really, with so many different wonderful companies. You just, and we're fortunate to work with so many of them. And when we get to do transactions again, it's like, oh man, high five, we get to work together again. So that is it. So
community.
There are a lot of agents out there just working so hard for their clients. So as an industry in a whole, just such a, it's a lot of work, really. Yeah. So, if you get an agent that's working hard for you, then, they're fortunate no matter what company they go with. So,
you're right.
So that's my thought.
Love that. Thank you. And then, can you share a story of a buyer who almost chose the wrong home and what changed their mind?
Almost chose the wrong home. Well, that one about the neighbors would be a good one to almost buy the wrong home. I've had clients buy the wrong home before, and we talked about buying in a neighborhood, and it was a small cul-de-sac. It was a community with only maybe 8-10 homes, and they didn't feel like they ever had a sense of community. Well, they lived there. It was just too small. And I had 2 separate clients, 2 different occasions, do that. And so really, really, I would practically buy the home over the community. I mean, the community over the home.
Yeah.
Yeah, buy the community over the home. I mean, as long as you can, make the home work, that buying the community just matters.
Yeah,
For
absolutely.
most people.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think you're right about that.
Yeah.
And then what does it really mean for a home to be a good fit for a buyer?
I think if it provides them with a sense of calm and energy, right? If it's their oasis, if they're in flow in that home. Yeah.
Absolutely. No,
Mhm.
and plus that's going to be possibly your forever home. So you
Mhm.
want that
Mhm.
energy and everything to just be good.
Well, even for a day, right?
Mm,
Even if
true.
it's not their forever home, you want to go someplace where you're calm and recharged.
Yes.
Yeah.
So true.
Mhm.
Is there anything that I have not touched on that perhaps you would like to get out there, whether it's about yourself, your industry, real estate, homes, tips?
Well, I think just whatever agent you're working with, I think it's very important to work with somebody who um, will really look at the home for you. Like we were talking about systems, things like that. Step back, look at the roof, but also, I think an agent that can keep their mouth shut. Really.
Mm.
So I'd say that's a big one, that um, well-intentioned agents often say too much and undermine their clients' well-being.
Mhm.
Their just a hint of something could be too much.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
Mhm.
if you're saying, well, my seller really wants to sell, they need to sell, what's that going to do?
Yeah.
I'm going to be more likely to submit an offer at a lower price at terms that are going to be more favorable for my buyer when I hear that. So I
Yeah.
think it's very important that the agent comes across friendly, building rapport with the other agent, but
Yes, you're right. That you got to find like that
shut
good
your
middle
mouth.
ground. Yeah, just stop, cut.
Yeah, right. Cut.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
All right. This has been so much fun getting
Thank
to
you.
talk to you.
Yeah,
I could do
well,
this all
yeah.
day, man.
Yeah.
I'd
Now
like
you know a lot.
Yeah, I know. I'd like to ask you my
Yeah.
final question,
Mhm.
and it's one that I like to ask everybody. What is a quote, a saying, or a mantra that has inspired you? Maybe somebody told you something that resonated with you, just to leave a message with our listeners.
Oh, geez, I wasn't prepared for that. Quote, a saying, or a mantra. I think gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
Lead with gratitude. Right? I don't know if it's a quote, saying, or mantra,
No.
but yeah,
A mantra.
lead with Think about lead with gratitude. That and look at every problem as an opportunity. Any challenge in life, just look at it as an opportunity. There's a lesson in every challenge.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Kind of like when a mic won't stick to the shirt because
Yeah.
it's too thick, and we can just find a way to put it in.
There you go.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much for being on the
Thank you.
podcast and for
Thank
bringing
you.
your awesome energy. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, I hope you have a lot more too.
Yeah, thank you.